Well, I want to say thanks to ZOTAC for sending this a 3090. It's the Trinity, so it's the ZOTAC 3090 Trinity. I'm really curious to check it out to see how it does, since I have not had a chance to even look at any of the 30 series cards. But I'm gonna try to do something a little bit different. So I'm gonna probably throw it into 3 different types of systems. Like over here that runs on the side of me is an i7. I think it's like in a 7 series. Then I've got an i7 that is in the 8 series. And then I've got an i9 that it's in a 900K. So I'm thinking about throwing it in all 3 of those systems, running a few easy test benches that I can put onto all 3, show you comparison and see if there's really that much of a difference, because I think that's kind of a more real world kind of look at it, because not everybody has got the top of the line stuff. I usually stay truthfully like 1 or 2 generations below it. So I think what we're going to do is going to go ahead and open this up and see what we have got. Alright, so here we go. I'm sort of curious to see what it looks like on the inside. The box is really kind of cool though. So it's got this almost like prism effect on it. It's when you first grab the box, you're like, wow, it feels kind of weird. And then that's because that's what it's got. It's got this little prismy kind of effect on the front of it. So they spent a few bucks on the box, I'll tell you that. So we'll take it out. And we'll pop it open here. Pop it open so you can see it first. What do you see? Okay. So it looks like the warranty card and probably some other stuff that's in there. It's good to have. Probably won't open it, but good to have, right? Okay, look there. More protection. All right, so there we are on the inside. So what do we get? We get some power cables. Nice. So looks like converters. So we got 6 pins to 8 pins. Yep, 2 of those. So might need those. And then, the all important thing that we really want to look at is the card. So I'm just gonna put that over to the side a little bit. All right, so let's look at this thing. Really nice. It has got some weight to it. Of course, it is heavy. We all kind of knew that was going to be the case. Definitely, it seems like I would probably recommend the vertical mount, just because of you're going to have the connection here and probably the weight here, and it's going to be, I think, a little less stress. Putting it on the horizontal mount, 90% of the people are already going to do that. But gosh, I would almost think about some kind of support just because of the weight. Especially if you tend to want to move yours around a lot, like you go to somebody's house or LAN parties. Yeah, we still have LAN parties. Or you just tend to move it around through your house for whatever known reason why. Maybe look at some kind of support. It does have a metal back plate on it. It's very thin, but really all it needs to be there is just for protection and also some ventilation. We can see that it's got some ventilation through here, a little bit through the middle side, and for whatever reason a little bit over there. I'm trying to see what I can see underneath there. You can't really see too much what's underneath it, but they do have that, so we can see that this is what you're probably thinking about where the air is. Or like on the Founders Editions, you know that the airflow throughs this way and out. But if we go back over and we look at the fans, the way the fans are set up, the fans will be actually rotating in a counterclockwise position. So what that tells me is it's pushing air towards me. So they'll be taking the air from the inside of the case, going through the fins, the cooling fins, and then out. So it looks like to me they have it set up to go out of the side of the card. So they've got a huge space over here. Looks like they're thinking a lot of it's going to go through. They've decided, from what I can tell, because of the rotation of the fans, is that they're going to be trying to blow air probably through this way. There is 2 8 pins located kind of in a typical spot, right? So you've got those there. You do have the SLI connection if you want to do that, and if you can afford it, good for you. Because I know I can't. And what do we got back here? Oh yeah, so what we're looking at is you've got DisplayPort, 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 and then a single HDMI. So you might want to remember that because, like myself, I have a couple of older monitors as my second and third monitors. So I'll have to see. I might have to get maybe a adapter for that. It does show here that it's a dual slot that it goes into, but it definitely is going to take it up at least another half. So you might as well just throw it away and say it's a full 3. That's what I would do. So if you're planning a new build, I would probably think about that as well if you're going to be putting something else in there or whatever your space limitations may or may not be. It is a pretty good sized card. So on the testing aspect of it, I think what I'm going to do is do something a little different because, like I said, I do things different than most people. So I'm going to put it onto my system, which is 9900K, and then I think I'm going to put it on the test bench, which is an 8700K, and I might even throw it into this thing, which I'm trying to remember. I think it's in the 7 series. So it's an i7 7 something. I actually need to look. But I'm thinking about tossing all 3 of those to see what we can get and the difference of frame rates. How much really is a difference, and the performance wise. Because this would be, to me, like a more normal, a real world test, instead of like, oh, we've got 64 gigs and we've got an i9 10,000K. Yeah, sorry. Let's get in the real world. So we're gonna do that. And we're also going to show you some charts. So we have a sister site, in case you didn't know it, is PCTestBench.com. Spell it just how it's supposed to be spelled, PCTestBench.com. Damien over there did a really good job on quite a few things that I hadn't seen some other people done. So he actually did some testing on all the PCI slot differences, like the 4 and the 3s and the 2s. So we'll dive into that, look at some of those graphs as well. So I'm going to go ahead, take this, and throw it in on the systems and see what we come up with. The ZOTAC Gaming GeForce RTX Trinity features 2nd Gen ray tracing cores, 3rd Gen Tensor cores, Spectra 2.0 RGB lighting, Ice Storm 2.0 advanced cooling, active fan control with freeze fan stop, metal front plate, and RGB lighting backplate, Firestorm utility, NVIDIA Inley, SLI ready, VR ready. Accessories, a dual 6-pin to 6-pin cables, and a manual. Display out ports, 3 DisplayPort 1.4a, HDMI 2.1, ultra high-speed ACMI cable is required to support 8K 60 frames per second or 4K at 120 frames per second. HDCP support 2.3, multiple display capability, quad display. Recommended power supply 750 watts. Power consumption 350 watts. Power input 2x 8-pin. Slot size 2.5, SLI, NVIDIA Link ready. Card length 317.8 millimeters by 120.7 millimeters by 58 millimeters, which is 12.5 inches by 4.75 inches by 2.28 inches. Advanced cooling, a more redefined Ice Storm 2.0 cooling system, is purpose-built for wider coverage to keep this GPU cooler and running stronger. The all-new 11-blade fan increases airflow by up to 10% when compared to previous generations designs. 3 groups of aluminum fin stacked array heat sinks paired up with 7 copper heat pipes extract the heat and distribute it even more efficiently than before. A new and improved heat pipe layout increases direct GPU contact in a more densely packed space. Freeze fan stop automatically enables efficient and quieter cooling by stopping the fans when the GPU is idle. Active fan control lets users have more control over the fans when using the ZOTAC Gaming Firestorm software. Adjust fan rotations independently and apply increased airflow to only where it's needed. Metal black plate outfitted with ARGB lighting. The Spectra 2.0 lights the path to enable beautiful colors, brings lighting to life with animated options, and makes the ZOTAC Gaming graphics card yours with personalization using the ZOTAC Gaming Firestorm software. All right, so we were able to do all the testing. I did use the system back here. This is an i7 7700. And then the test bench is an 8700K. And then my system is an i9 9900K. So I think it gives us a pretty good, well-rounded, kind of average user kind of system to see if there's really any big difference actually using the card on different systems of different generations. So the first one we're going to look at is superposition, the 1080p Extreme. Now, if you notice on this one, it's kind of weird, but you know what? I saw this happen in a couple of different other places as well. So I'm guessing it's maybe just the configuration or maybe drivers or something a little different. But actually on the 8700K, it came out 0.92% better than on a faster i9 system. That the 7700K actually performed a little better as well. So I don't know what to say. You know, I would have to go back and really figure out what's going on with this one. But I was really surprised about this one. And yes, I tested this thing like a dozen times each just to make sure these numbers were right. And this is what I came up with. So, and this is mostly based off of, if you remember right, this is really based off of the graphics card. So the superposition is heavily onto the graphics card itself. Now when we go over to the 3D mark tests, we have Time Spy, and that's going to be the first one at the default settings. In the overall score, you're going to see that the i9 system did 7.24% better than the 8700K, and it did 20%, almost 21% better than the i7. So that does kind of tell us that yes, from basically 2 generation jumps, quite a bit. From 1 generation, nah, not so much. Now if we go over there and we go to the Time Spy default with the Extreme, it's kind of the same setup. So we still see that the i9 did 11.49% better than the 8700, but it did almost 26% better than the i7. So again, generational jumps is where we see it. Truthfully, this is kind of what I kind of do. If I wasn't doing this, I typically do, I skip a generation. So let me go over to Firestrike, and this is the default one. And again, we're going to see that the i9 was 8.1% better than the 8700, but holy smokes, above the i7 it was 72, almost 73% better. So that's a huge jump on that. And then we go to the Firestrike Ultimate. Of course, this is testing like in 4K, and we're going to see that the 9900 again beat out the 8700, but very minimal though, like 2.03%, and only a 4%, almost a 5% difference between the i7 7700. So that's pretty cool. I thought that was kind of a cool thing to do there. So next what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some benchmarks that was done over at our sister site, PCTestBench, and Damon did a lot of good testing on that, and he did it with different types of video cards, so probably what most of you people really want to watch. So let's take a look at those. So what are my initial thoughts of the card? I like it. Of course, I mean, what is there not to like about it? I mean, it's fast. I mean, it's the mother effing, you know, fastest card on the planet. So how can you go wrong there? I guess the biggest question is like, well, do I want to spend, you know, $1,200, $1,300, $1,400, $1,500, whatever price it is that you can get for it right now? If you can afford it, yes, I would. If you can't afford it, no. I wouldn't hawk the house or do any stupid things. I would definitely probably go down to like a 3080, which is more affordable, or if you even want to wait for the next lower generation of cards, I think you're going to be surprised is like how much of a increase it's going to be, and for the price difference. So that's personally, that's kind of where I usually fall. Is usually around like the 3070, 3080 ranges where I would probably personally look at it buying. The design of it was great. I love the LEDs. I like the styling. The cooling seemed to be very well throughout all the testing. The highest I saw it get was like 77C, so not too bad. And I have a decent airflow case, I think. And I think I would highly recommend taking a look at this ZOTAC 3090 Trinity. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button, and also please hit the subscribe button. And remember, have a great day.